Hey everybody, it's time for more genie dancy hair whippy stuff. It's Shantae, Risky's Revenge for the DSiWare shop. I think this is probably going to be the only DSiWare game we're probably ever going to do, at least for a long, long time, until I feel like recording Mighty Flip
Yeah, there
Champs.
you go. You throw that safety net under there. Never say never.
Yeah.
And only
To quote
because
the famous Justin Bieber.
and only because Ted couldn't get Fraps to work with the PC version of this game. So yeah,
Yeah, which
that's why
is
we're not doing that.
basically Yeah, it's which from what I can tell, the Fraps version, not the Fraps version, the PC version is just infinitely better. And of course, right after I buy the DSi, where a second version of the DSiWare version of this game for my Capture 3DS, they WayForward goes out and announces, "Oh, we're porting it to the Wii U too." God damn it, guys! Why do you make my life difficult?
The director's cut was that confirmed for both Wii U and 3DS or just Wii U?
I don't remember. I think it might have just been Wii U. I don't know why
Yeah.
it wouldn't be able to run on the 3DS, but maybe they're just going with the Wii U for right now. Because
Well, if we're just going to talk about like one major difference between the director's cut and the original version, which is what we're commentating over for this playthrough, director's cut when you beat the game. There's a lot of other differences which I can, well, not a lot of other differences, but a little minor differences which I can point out as we go along. But the major difference is that after you beat the game in director's cut mode, you unlock magic mode, where your defense is lowered, but you have a longer magic meter. By that I mean it lasts longer, so you can use the secondary weapons as for a
Pike
long time.
balls, pike
Yeah,
balls.
pike balls. Level that shit up to level 3 as soon as possibly can. Enjoy your easy game.
Dude, Pike Balls are like the only spell that I ever use in Risky's Revenge ever. There's like
You do need the other ones for like extra stuff, but
oh yeah,
yeah.
but like I mean I like just in general gameplay. I never switch to the other ones. I buy them for completionism, but I always have that set unless a specific situation calls for one of the others.
Oh no, I don't think you need to spend any magic gems in order to get the base levels of the fireball
No,
in
you
the
don't.
puff cloud, and those are the only ones you really need for like collecting stuff. So yeah, just get those and then spend your magic gems on everything else first.
Yeah, it's like
Well, the pike balls are never mandatory for anything.
No, but they're god tier, so I don't know
No,
why.
no. I was just for comparison's sake, because I know the storm cloud, the storm puff is mandatory for getting inside a dungeon, and the fireball is not mandatory for getting in a dungeon, but it is mandatory for getting one of the, I think, a heart container,
I think
or it could be a magic gem.
yeah, something or other. So anyway, yeah, this game takes place after the events of the original Shantae, which I played after this, so I was a little bit
Which we
confused.
did a commentary of earlier. Wink, wink.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody knows who each other is, and I don't. And Bolo lives in Scuttletown now, even though he lived somewhere else in Shantae. I don't remember.
A lot of towns seems to have disappeared for this game. This the focus of Risky's Revenge is really just around Scuttletown and like directly northwest south of it.
Yeah. The layout of Sequin Land basically changes every other week. So you know, it doesn't really.
It's on a zombie caravan.
eh.
Yeah. So anyway, ooh, Aladdin's lamp. Robin Williams, we can bring you back.
Can I just highlight something that confused the fuck out of me? Okay, that is obviously a genie's lamp to anyone who's even remotely genre savvy with genie related things, and yet the half genie doesn't know what it is.
Look, she's a half genie. She's only used to seeing half lamps. You know those things that you put on top of your table, right? Right?
Oh yeah, thinking about it, like how do drunk people in the Middle East do parties? Like, do they take oil lamps and put those on their head instead of lampshades? Because I don't know, that seems like you'd get an awful lot messier.
I'm sorry.
I
I
don't
just
think about it.
noticed. This is hilarious. I don't know how I didn't see it while I was actually playing, but like Risky Boots is her chest piece is a face, like a skull face.
Yeah, it's a skull.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which we'll get into in the next game, sort of.
it's just a skull because she's a pirate and also sexy? Question mark.
Top of the skull is a is a bra, and the bottom of it is a pair of panties.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's Yeah, there's a reason why I'm pretty sure the character designs are the reason why every Shantae game is rated E10. Basically every WayForward game is rated E10, and every character they have is dressed like this.
Was Disney's Aladdin
Sean,
rated E10?
I don't know.
I
Well,
don't
it
think
should
it
have
was
been.
E10 when that game
If
came
we're being
out.
consistent here.
Shantae, the original, was considered a commercial flop. Regardless of that, they
It was a cult. It was
originally-
considered a cult classic, though. People.
Yeah, but
It came way too
you know,
late.
that- all
in the
they-
Game
all
Boy
the-
Colors.
it came way
life
too late in the
cycle.
cycle. But regardless of that, they still were developing a Shantae game for the Game Boy Advance that was ultimately scrapped, and Shantae wouldn't see the light of day again until this game with Risky's Revenge. When did this come out for the DSi?
2010, I think. 2009, 2000. Hold on, I'm gonna make a quick.
Yeah.
Wiki-
Well, either way, very much later on.
Well, it had
Yeah.
to be. It was the DSiWare shop, so it was late in the DS's life cycle too, because the DSiWare was like the holdover for the 3DS. And again,
and from what I hear, this was the only DSiWare game worth kind of playing.
but no, anything Way Forward made on the DSiWare shop is worth getting. Mighty Flip Champs is a really fun puzzle game. Mighty Milky Way is interesting. It's not as good as Flip Champs, but it's fun. And another cool thing about these games is if you got other Way Forward DSiWare games, there's a room in Scuttletown where, like a connection room, I forget what it's called, but if you go to that room in Shantae's Whiskey's Revenge, and if you've have those games on your DSi or 3DS, and if you have them, and also if you've beaten them, you get extra gems, which basically means that you can get tons of upgrades at the very beginning of the game, and it makes the game a lot easier. But since this is my Capture 3DS, this is the only Way Forward game I own on it at the moment, so I'm not going to be able to take advantage of that for this specific playthrough, unfortunately. So I got to do things the old-fashioned way.
I was never able to take advantage of any of it, regardless of this version or the director's cut on the PC.
I don't know.
Now,
I don't know if the
I-
PC version has it, but
The PC version does have it still keeps the room, but I don't know what you need to do in order to get those bonuses if they're in the version of the game to start with. Now, you mentioned earlier that you tried to capture the director's cut version, but Fraps ultimately gave you shit. Like,
Yeah.
whatever happened? Like,
I couldn't get it to work. I tried turning down the resolution. I tried a whole bunch of different things. It just was not. It was being a dick. So
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, I do want to play the director's cut version just to see if it fixes some of my problems with the game, because when I first played this game on the DSiWare, I absolutely loved it. It was like I fell in love with the game, and I still like it quite a lot, but after playing Pirate's Curse, it is very difficult to go back to Risky's Revenge, which is sad.
I will say, there's one thing, though, that I couldn't help but feel as I was playing, because before we started this, I played the game and beat the game twice during the last week. Well, last week. The week previously, before last week. And just to make sure I'm up to date with everything. And Risky's Revenge was one I initially played until I defeated the first dungeon after you defeat the Squid Baron, and then I stopped. And I picked it up again later down the road, but there was this nagging feeling to me that this game felt rushed.
It
Like,
probably was.
incomplete.
I think they might have. I think what might have happened, I don't know the exact development story, is that I think they might have been working on like a Cart Shantae DS game, and that didn't work out, so they might have had to squish it down into a DSiWare title, because
One of the things that I wanted to bring up was this is the only Shantae game where you are able to jump across layers.
yeah, I think that
background
was
layers.
I think that was a 3DS kind of thing.
No, it's well, not 3DS, but DSi.
Yeah.
It's in the original. But
Well, no, I think it might have been like a, ooh, look at this. It would be cool if we could do this on the 3DS.
they only keep that gimmick for Scuttletown and the forest.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's weird.
Which makes me think they had more planned for that, but they ultimately scrapped it for more traditional linear design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting, I suppose. It makes the areas feel a little bit more 3D, I guess. but I don't know. It doesn't add too much to the whole thing. So
No, quite frankly, I found it disorienting. I'm glad they scrapped it.
Yeah, I got so lost in Tangle Forest. Like you would not. I had to look up a YouTube video to figure out where I was supposed to be going. And there was like this one area in the back area, in the very back, that I didn't notice I could jump to, because I thought I had already jumped as far back as I could go, and there was this, I forget where it was, but there was another jumping point that I couldn't.
I don't know what your guys' opinions on, but Shantae's map kind of sucks.
yeah,
Like,
it's pretty
There's a
bad.
better map in Director's Cut, but it's slightly more annoying there, simply because you can't use it without pausing.
You have to pause the game to look at it.
Yeah, that's like the one downside to Director's Cut, is you have to pause the game to look at the map. You can't just glance down at your screen. And I'm hoping the Wii U version fixes that.
Yeah, that's why I love the Wii U and the DS. You know, like, I'm all for people using the gamepad and the DS for interesting things, but if you just slap a map down there, I won't give a shit. I'm happy. Like, that's all I need.
I am totally okay with that. It also makes it easy to swap out a game with having a dual screen function and having a play on the gamepad function, if you're not trying to make it so that you absolutely must play the game with two screens.
Yeah, basically.
And pausing to look at a map feature is nothing new. I did it all the time for Super Metroid and Fusion and Zero Mission. It's just that those maps were actually functional and coherent. You can read them easily. Shantae, no. You get a general area of where you're at. That's about it, but it doesn't do real shit in terms of pointing where exactly you have to go. And again, the layer switching only kind of makes the issue worse.
It basically, it just tells you what room you're in, and, you know, you don't even get a map at all in the dungeons.
No.
Which is where, especially the third dungeon, you'd really like to have one.
To be fair, with whatever disorientation problems this game has, it's still much, much better than Simon's Quest, and that, I think, is a victory, however small. And Simon's
You
Quest,
know how easy,
but at the same time, that's not very hard to do.
yeah, do you know
Simon's
how
Quest,
easy it is to be better than Simon's Quest?
Yeah, Simon's Quest, though, is like the first pertinent comparison that I could think of when I started playing this game, because it's structured pretty much exactly like Simon's Quest, only better. A lot better.
Another thing that Director's Cut changed was the health of certain enemies.
Do they have less
the
damage?
The big ogres here take 4 hits to kill in the DSi version. It takes 3 in Director's
Yeah,
Cut.
I was actually about to say that, because it looks like, didn't you hit that guy one more time than I remember hitting him?
Yeah.
I thought I was imagining
the same
it.
goes for the. I think it's them, and I know for a fact it's also the planted pot enemies in the first dungeon, the one with the tentacles and all that.
Yeah.
They take forever to kill in the DSi version, but they take like half the hits in Director's Cut.
Yeah, and normally at this point I spend my money. I'm pretty sure I spend my money on like hair upgrades to start off. So it's I played this game was a lot slower to start off with.
Yeah.
For me than it was than normal. I'm used to having like a good, like, I don't know, 600 gems at the
Hair
start of
upgrades. Just get Pike Ball upgraded as soon as you can, and get that one upgrade that lets you regenerate your magic bar. And you'll never have to do anything ever again.
Yeah.
You'll just be able to stand next to the opponent and watch it die.
I think what's probably the best change though between Director's Cut and DSi version are the warp squids. In the DSi version, warp squids were paired.
Warp squids are
Yeah.
useless in this game. I barely use them. Mostly
Because of how stupid they're set up. Because you have to activate, they're represented on the map by colored diamonds. If you want to use the red warp squid diamond, you have to open up the other red diamond warp squid in the other area. In the Director's Cut, any warp squid can work anywhere, which is much better. And it saves a hell of a lot on backtracking, which this game gets pretty bad with later down the road.
Oh, yeah, well, it's a
Yes.
Metroidvania, so you expect some backtracking. It gets pretty damn obnoxious, though.
Yeah.
The
The DSi version only, though.
I hear Metroidvania thrown around with this game a lot, and I'm not sure if Pirate's Curse has more in the vein of that. But but the only time, like, I've only played up to the Battle Tower, as of right now, and the only time this game felt even remotely Metroidvania-like was during Dungeon 1 for me, because there was a lot more verticality to it. You went up, down, all around. It was relatively linear.
I think it depends on just how seamless everything connects. If it's quite clearly level 1, level 2, level 3, I don't classify that as Metroidvania. Because just to close this off, Pirate's Curse, I don't think Metroidvania. I actually think it's closer to Order of Ecclesia, if anything else.
Order of
Yeah.
Ecclesia is a Castlevania.
Is the last DS Castlevania game.
Yeah, which didn't start really playing like a Metroidvania until the final dungeon, which was Dracula's Castle, assuming you got the good ending at all.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
All right, and stay tuned for part 2 of Shantae's Whisker Revenge, featuring Ryan from BrainScratch Commentaries.